Welcome back again to another video. Today we are going to talk about the history of Mombasa up to the present date. One Africa, one love, one nation. And if you like such kind of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Mombasa, a coastal city in Kenya, has a rich and diverse history that spans centuries, blending influences from various cultures, empires, and civilization. Early inhabitants. Before the 1st century AD, archaeological evidence shows that the Mombasa region has been inhabited by humans for thousands of years. The earliest inhabitants were likely Bantu-speaking communities engaged in farming, fishing, and iron working. Coastal settlement. Mombasa's strategic location on the Indian Ocean made it an ideal location for settlement. Early inhabitants may have engaged in trade with the Arabian Peninsula, India, and the rest of the African coasts. The introduction of Islam and trade from the Arabian Peninsula profoundly shaped Mombasa and other Swahili coast cities. Arabs established trading posts along the East African coast, and Mombasa emerged as a key center of trade between Africa, Arabia, India, and Persia. Mombasa became part of the Swahili city-state, a network of prosperous and culturally rich cities along the coast. Swahili-speaking people influenced by Arab and Persian traders created a unique culture combining African, Arab, and Islamic traditions. Mombasa flourished as a major port for trade in gold, ivory, and slaves. Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama reached Mombasa in 1498 during his journey to India. The Portuguese began to establish a presence along the East African coast to control the lucrative spice and slave trade routes to India and Asia. Mombasa became a Portuguese stronghold in East Africa. The Portuguese built Fort Jesus in 1593 to protect their interests from local resistance and competing European powers. However, the Portuguese faced continuous resistance from local Swahili rulers and other regional powers. The Portuguese were driven out of Mombasa by the Oman Arabs in 1698. The Omanis took control of the coastal city and made it part of the Oman Sultanate. During this time, Mombasa became a major port for trade in slaves, spices, ivory, and gold. Mombasa played a central role in the East African slave trade, with slaves being exported to the Middle East, India, and the Persian Gulf. The Oman rulers used Mombasa as a base to exert control over the East African coast. By the late 19th century, the Oman Sultanate power waned as European colonial powers, particularly the British, began to expand their influence over East Africa. After a series of treaties and the decline of the Oman Sultanate, Mombasa came under British influence. In 1895, the British established a protectorate over Kenya, with Mombasa serving as the key port. The British constructed the Uganda Railway, which connected Mombasa to the interior of Kenya and Uganda. The railway was pivotal for the British colonial economy, facilitating the transportation of goods such as tea, coffee, and other agricultural products. During this period, Mombasa also saw an influx of Indian immigrants, particularly to work on the railway and in trade. This led to a significant Indian and Arab population, contributing to the city's vibrant cultural and social life. Mombasa, along with the rest of Kenya, gained independence from British colonial rule on December 12, 1963. The city, which had long been a cultural and economic hub, continued to grow in importance as part of the newly independent nation. Mombasa's economy continued to rely on the port, tourism, and agriculture. In recent years, it has also become a major tourist destination, with its beautiful beaches, historical sites, and vibrant culture attracting visitors from around the world. Mombasa, like many other major cities, has faced challenges related to infrastructure, development, urbanization, and security. There have been periods of political tensions and occasional incidents of terrorism in the city, especially linked to extremist groups. Mombasa remains Kenya's busiest port, handling a significant portion of East Africa's maritime trade. The city is also crucial for regional trade, serving as a gateway for goods going to Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, and Democratic Republic of Congo. Key landmarks and features in modern Mombasa. Fort Jesus, built by the Portuguese in the 16th century to protect the city from invaders. Fort Jesus stands as a major historical landmark and museum. Old Town. Mombasa Old Town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, showcasing the city's Arab, Portuguese, and Swahili architecture. The Mombasa Tusk, iconic elephant tusk on Moi Avenue, symbolizes the city and are popular landmarks. Mombasa Marine National Park, known for its pristine beaches and coral reefs. Mombasa is a hub for tourism and marine conservation. Hora Park, a nature park that has transformed a former limestone quarry into an ecological sanctuary, offering both tourists and local a natural retreat. Mombasa history is a rich tapestry of indigenous African, Arab, Persian, Portuguese, Oman, and British influences. From its early days of small trading settlement to its current status as a bustling port city, Mombasa has played a vital role in the cultural and economic history of East Africa. Today, it remains a city full of historical landmarks, cultural diversity, and economic significance in Kenya and the larger East African region.